Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. This reading today is about what you need to know right now. So, for the first pile, we have Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and Pisces. Your card is the Frog. For the second pile, we have Sagittarius, Virgo, Scorpio, and Libra. Your card is the Bee. For the third pile, we have Aquarius, Capricorn, Aries, and Leo. Your card is the Cat. Okay. I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile using the card, the zodiac sign, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number 1, your card is the Frog. And, sorry for the focus, okay. So the Frog, to me, is evoking something about what is hidden, something about the other side of the veil, occult wisdom, occult beauty, maybe secrecy, but also this ability to be in both worlds at the same time. So, both worlds, so the spirit world and the material world, the material realm. Okay. So let's get you some oracle cards. So what do you need to know right now? Okay. Wow, that's a lot of fairies, but I'm just going to, I don't mind this reading being a bit different. Let's see. Epona's wild daughter. The fairy who was kissed by the pixies. Beautiful, positive card. Luminous doom. Maybe these are the two worlds. The feline. And indie. That's interesting because it's like being in between worlds. Being in between. Maybe you're stuck between two different things, two different situations, or there's this point of balance between two energies that are very different, possibly competing with each other. There's a sense of like something being incomplete, something not being right, something that brings you sadness and doubt, but also this sense of being loved and protected and guided. So I feel like in a sense, spiritually, you feel like you're guided and protected and that you are loved by the energies that are beyond the veil. They nurture you so much, but maybe on this side of the veil, like on the material side of the veil, maybe not so much. Maybe sometimes you think Is this all in my head? Like, is this all my imagination? How can I make this a part of my life? Something missing. Something missing. We have main person. Receiving a gift. And grief and adversity. There we go. So receiving a gift has a lot to do with also the fairy who is kissed by the pixies, and like having a collective that really loves you, that really nurtures you, but then you have this feeling that's almost a complete opposite of being like in the absence of something, of not having, of not enjoying. I feel like today, like the fairies, they wanted to come out, and also the animal spirits. They're so, how do I say this? Like it's like nature and the animals, they're coming alive and they want to bring you a specific message. And the fairies, they're also like the helpers of this. I don't know. Maybe it's also a great, like a call of nature, a call of the wild. Like the need to be surrounded by flowers and green spirits and natural energies, naturally flowing love. We have oppression with the walak. So there's this something in your imagination is taking you to a place sometimes of feeling endangered. There's something here about feeling endangered, feeling that you are being attacked, or just being in a situation where you can't get out of, or in a structure that is no longer sustainable. The Prince of Pentacles. This might have to do with the more practical and material aspects of your life. Fortune with Lakshmi. There you go. So it's almost as if there is some sort of sadness in the abundance. There is some sort of emotional weight. There's an emotional weight to the material aspect. The Four of Cups. There's something that you don't want to do. Something that you don't want to address. Two of Cups. Two of Cups in Indy. It's interesting. It's almost as if there is like a relationship that doesn't resolve. There's a connection that's not completely made, maybe. There's a part of you that rejects this. There's also a part that rejects the fact that it's unfulfilled. Also, maybe you're rejecting a part of yourself that's unfulfilled with this situation. It can be a relationship. It can also be something in your life that's not really, going your way. Okay, so the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So I feel like there's a mastery, a self-mastery, and there's a mastery of elements here that needs to be achieved, that requires you to be more self-centered and also to be true to how you feel. Seven of Swords. Four of Swords. Ten of Cups. Okay. Contemplation with Django. And finally, we have the Three of Swords. So I feel like you need to address mental and emotional pressure that is building in your subconscious. You need to let it come to the surface. You need to let the reflection become the material. And talking about reflection, that's also another word for contemplation. And the mirroring of the indie, it's like this way or that way. Like the Two of Cups, there's two cups, right? And two people that join the cups. There's a mirroring here. There is a sadness. There is a suffering that is going on that comes from a lack of self-mastery. It's strange because there's an emotional dimension to this, and there is a very practical and material dimension to this also, and they are somehow connected by subconscious like cobwebs that need to be cleaned. It's like this is a really good timing for you to clean your space, or to move your furniture, to create like a different decor, and to think about your belongings, to organize your life. This is really helpful when I feel like this kind of energy starts to limit your thoughts, because sometimes we are limiting our thoughts and our actions out of habit, out of the gestures that we make daily, like when doing simple things like having breakfast, or preparing a meal, taking a bath. Sometimes changing the position of things, it rewires the brain. It also helps clear away some psychic debris. I feel like there's a lot going on beneath the surface in your psyche that needs to be addressed, and there's a great abundance of solutions there that is untapped, because you're maybe in a bit of denial. Like there's like, I don't need to do that, I'm fine. Like like with therapy. Therapy is also maybe useful for some of you. This is not medical advice, of course. This is just me picturing something in my mind. Like I would try these avenues to unblock this. Um, there are solutions to the problems that you're facing right now, if this resonates, and they are in your subconscious. So a moment of contemplation, a moment of solitude, but with intentionally going into the depth of your psyche. So that's why sometimes a therapist or a good friend, someone you trust, but also someone who is proficient in and who has technique, who has mastery in this way of approaching the psyche. I feel like that's important here, because there's suffering there. There's a pain. There's something that needs to be expressed, something that needs to be seen and considered. And right beside that, there's a solution. There's the thing that you need. And the feline is reminding you, like, you left this behind. You forgot this. You forgot to do this. You think you don't need to do this, but you do. You're refusing to see what he wants you to see. And he wants you to see the 10 of Cups, the solutions, the happiness. He wants you to see the happiness. Because right now, so the information that is coming to you at the moment has no power to change your fortune, to change the course of things. Because I feel like maybe you're refusing to dive deeper because you feel like you're already getting a lot of information. So maybe I'm talking to people who channel, who have a lot of insights already, and possibly have some trouble organizing those insights and getting to the point, let's say, getting to the core, getting to the solutions, so you get all this information, but if you don't organize it, it ends up tiring you. It ends up, and possibly even increasing the suffering. So there's this self-mastery here that I think that this reading is kind of motivating you to achieve, that comes from some sort of self-reflection. This might be related to a relationship, like having doubts, not knowing how to proceed, or just trying to heal after some sort of painful moment. I feel like there's this feeling of not being able to do something that you want to do. And that pain comes from lack of self-mastery. Because you have the resources, they're just deeply buried in your psyche. Sleep is very good, but the quality of the sleep, so the way you get the information and how you manage to record it, like write it, or sing it, talk about it, I don't know, paint it. There's something that you need to, like a technique that you need to use so that you see it, so that it's material also. You might also be converting a psychological reality into, or psychic reality into a material reality. I'm not sure how, but you're kind of so I feel like you're in the middle of this transformation, and it's because of a gift that you have. So maybe you are yourself psychic, and you have this gift that you have to turn into something that is not painful. Because maybe it is a bit painful for you. Maybe you see things, but it's hard on your heart to see those things. And you need to become, I wouldn't say detached, but more pragmatic and down to earth about something. Beautiful. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to the newsletter so we can keep in touch. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2. Your card is the Bee. And the Bee is about the power of acting in a group. So a community, an organization. To be organized also. To have a schedule, to have an order to things, to be methodical, considerate of others, and also of creating abundance, creating a lot of material and spiritual nourishment, not only for yourself, but also for the collective. Okay, let's see. What do you need to know right now? Pile number 2. The fairies, they're really active today. There's a lot of fairies that want to come out. A lot of fairy cards. Just one more. Okay. He of the fiery sword. Okay. Wow, your fairy guide. So the blank card. A collective of pixies. So you see the collective represented here. We have ecstasies. The feline. And finally, we have list of the shadows. Interesting. I'm getting a lot of pictures in my mind, like right away. Let's see, what else? Pile number 2. What does pile number 2 need to know? His thoughts. Unexpected money. And the marriage card. So there's something really beneficial about working in a group right now, agreeing to something in a group. So it can be like signing a contract in a new company, or just belonging, the sense of belonging to a group, to a movement. Because of his thoughts, I feel like someone is considering you for a specific role. And it's interesting that I feel like I have been speaking about this for a few readings. And so you might want to check like the last readings, because I feel like I have talked about this, like someone considering you for a specific role. Someone wants to kind of sign a deal with you, and possibly how you express yourself, or how you speak about what you do, how you represent yourself at the moment can be the thing that changes, the thing that makes a difference. Possibly also, this person might be observing you and trying to see how you operate with the collective, or how you manage the team. They might be thinking about this specific skill set. And it's like you're being watched, you're being observed. Someone who is like in the shadows and watching you from afar, or from a vantage point. I don't think you're dealing with this person directly. Okay. The Four of Staves. There you go with the marriage card. This can also be romantic. This can also be someone who is looking at you and seeing if they can approach you, although they haven't yet. The Fool. The Fool and the Fairy Guide. It's like there's something innocent about it. That's why I'm saying that you don't know who this person is, and you're kind of evaluating the situation. We have the High Priestess, Sarasvati with wisdom, a collective of pixies. Okay, so this might be the representation, the best representation of the collective, of this company, this collective, this group, this movement. And Sarasvati is a great blessing, a great presence, a very auspicious presence in a collective. So being guided by Sarasvati, the goddess of culture, of high culture, the goddess of the sublime in art, in literature, and knowledge, in science, all domains of the mind and of the expression of intelligence. It's very interesting. There's this very delicate, also very this can also be technology, I feel, because although there is also an aesthetic component here, but Sarasvati can be like the cutting edge of technology for me also, because it's the most sublime form of knowledge, the most abstract also. And music is a great representation of that also. The science of something that is invisible but very powerful at the same time. So yeah, this can also be some sort of technology that you can be working on or backed by, that is supporting this collective. The Seven of Swords. And the Excesses. Princess of Cups. Seven of Staves. And the Eight of Swords. Okay, so I also feel like there's someone else that is seeing this from afar, that is observing this and is a bit, they feel like challenged. They feel like they have to protect themselves. And I don't think that you're aware of this situation at all. So there might be maybe this is a big group of people and there's this, diversity of thoughts and of minds, of opinions. And there might be someone who is considering you for great things you're unaware of. But there are also people who are seeing you as competition or as someone who might interfere with their plans. I feel like you're not seeing it. Possibly I feel like this reading is telling you, like warning you to not be paranoid, but to be a little bit more sensitive to other people's feelings in a specific moment. I'm not saying that you're insensitive, of course, not at all, but I feel like you're very focused at the moment, it seems like you're focused on the action part and not so much on how other people feel about what you're doing, like what's the impact of what you're doing. You might not be getting that feedback immediately because maybe sometimes people hide how they feel and they want to be more in control of how they feel, not of the situation itself necessarily, but more of how they feel. And this might also be the same person who is interested in you romantically. So maybe you will have like this strange reaction that doesn't seem at all like this person likes you, and actually they do. It's just that it interferes too much with who they think they are or who they represent, or it triggers their shadows. It triggers something about them that makes them insecure. It ends up interfering with the process. It does, yes. And I do feel like you're very focused on the outcome and on the community, on the best thing for the community or for the collective. And you might be overlooking something more specific about a person, or how, like, the feeling that it invokes. Your actions invoke feeling. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. I do feel like people think you're detached. You're Two of Swords. Three of Swords. And transformation with Ukemochi. So I feel like there's someone here that might be like crying for help a little bit, and they're maybe a bit hurt by your words, and they might not be telling you because they're maybe afraid of how you would change or of how things can change. because I feel like you're able to change, like you're able to create, you're able to invoke this collective energy. You're able to harness it, and it becomes a bit not necessarily scary, but it interferes. That power ends up interfering with how someone else reacts to your presence, I guess. And it might seem like a conflict, but it's not a confrontation. It's not the intention of the person. I feel like that's not the point. The thing is the interference. So the the hard part here is that that person feels the interference. So it's really a natural defense. But the thing that you might be missing in this situation, if it resonates, is that you have the power to transform this completely. And that's also it might seem like it's a lot to process, but you are the one that has the power to transform the situation. Okay, so is there the 9 of Staves. I think the point here is that love needs to flow between you, or in this collective, in this group. There needs to be a little bit more of sweetness, of heartfelt communication. And at the moment, it might seem like it's a bit too much. It's a bit, like, I don't want to deal with that right now. I am worried about something else. Or something tells me, like, I don't want to deal with that at the moment. I need to do some other thing because of this collective picture that you have in your mind, like this group that you want to be a part of, or that you want to collaborate with. There's something very meaningful here that you want to address, let's say. It might also be that you think that, or you feel like the emotional dimension of this is kind of interfering with the professional dimension. And it might seem like you're exercising a certain control. Like, I want to make this better in this way, and I don't want to address that at the moment. That's not what I want to do. But the thing is, your presence and your energy and the way you carry yourself, it immediately gets this reaction. And although it might seem like it's not practical at the moment, I feel like eventually it will be best for everyone if you do address this, if you do help the heart connection, if you work on that heart connection, because that is going to help everyone heal the shadow elements and to also heal any sort of conflict that might emerge. And even if there is a confrontation, there is more heartfelt connection, there's more heartfelt communication, and that helps everyone. It helps the collective. So it's this always this mindset of working for the common good, working for the harmony, for the beauty and the sublimation of the and transmutation of the suffering of everyone. It's a very interesting way of looking at a collective. Very, I feel like it's very responsible and honorable. Beautiful. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter also, so we can keep in touch. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3. Your card is the cat. And the cat is connected to your senses, to be very aware of your context, of your surroundings, of your body. So sensuality, being protected, being guided, but also a certain sense of detachment. Of instinct. Okay, so what do you need to know right now? What does pile number 3 need to know? Okay. We have Los Guna. Sorry, I had to cover that. We have the green woman. Okay, this is hard today. Yeah. Green woman. The singer of the chalice. The bright mother. Sorry for that. Okay. And the dark lady. So what does pile number 3 need to know? Pleasant letter. His thoughts. A long way. And work occupation. What does pile number 3 need to know right now? 9 of Cups. Nine of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. The Sun with the zodiac. Oppression with the Wawalak. The Star. And Power with Freya. The Star is Inanna. 2 very powerful energies in the end. So because we have this combination here, I feel like there was some sort of like dark energy working in a process of you working towards your desires. It was like this intervention, this like last moment intervention, like right at the end, something changed completely. But it changed so that the energy needed to change. There was something there that was destructive, something hidden that was destructive. So I'm seeing like this story, like everything is going well. There's this appeal here. There's desire. It can be a relationship, someone who you love, someone who you desire, and there was a moment that showed some sort of darkness. Maybe you saw something about that person that you didn't understand, or that you didn't realize that it was so strong, or there's a powerful it's like there's a powerful darkness, but there's also a lot of beauty. So it's like there's so much beauty, there's so much abundance and nurturing energy. It's like a dream come true. It's like you feel completely like your senses are overwhelmed with goodness. But suddenly there's this shift, and then everything turns in a different direction. And power is the chariot, right? So sorry, this is not the equivalent to the chariot. This is the equivalent to the emperor. I was confused because of the chariot, of course, but it's different. So what I was trying to say is that there's this turnaround. Like I'm doing things my way suddenly. I'm doing things in a different way. I'm changing direction. I know where to go now. I know where to go. Okay. Now here's the chariot with movement and Rhiannon. We have fortune, the wheel of fortune with Lakshmi, and the King of Pentacles. I feel like there's this wild energy, this like defiant of the emperor, of the power, of the direct action, of the structured, planned, organized action. There's something that defies that, something that tries to wreak havoc, something that tries to detour, to make it, to create a detour, to create some sort of deviant behavior, like a deviant behavior. and there needs to be like a firm grasp and a work, like intentionally working on controlling a chaotic and possibly dark energy. So this can be, for some of you, this might be like addictive patterns. And this is, of course, not medical advice or expert advice. This is just a story that I'm seeing. And then what I'm seeing is something like someone working on changing a pattern of behavior. And there might be a moment where there is some sort of relapse or a moment of temptation. There's this bond that is disorganized, let's say, that is a chaotic, it's like a chaotic moment. And in the chaos, something dark, catches the opportunity. It's an opportunistic energy, but it's also like an energy that you shouldn't underestimate. And not only because of the energy itself, but also the moments of chaos can really, the moments of chaos and misunderstanding and miscommunication, they can change things. But you have the power to do what you want and to redirect the energy the way that you want. But there's work involved. And also maybe even your work is very healing. So the way you dedicate your time and the way you use your attention, your energy, your focus is also very beneficial. There might be I feel like there's also this like overzealous energy, like trying to control something that doesn't really need controlling, that has its own energy and vibe. Sometimes when we are growing up and when we are interacting with the world, we are learning things about the world. We try to, it's like a child is discovering how things work. We try to do things with the objects that are not, they are not meant to do that. And we end up trying to forcefully make them, do something that they're not created to do. And we end up potentially, ruining the thing, the tool, the toy, the object, whatever it is. Like, okay, I want to make a castle out of books, and books can be pretty strong if they're hardcover, but they can also be soft and very fragile. And of course, the pages of the books are very fragile. So there might be this kind of experimentation that becomes interference. If it becomes a habit, like I have done this before, I will try this again, I will keep doing this because I do this every day and I am used to doing this, like it's a habit. There's some sort of like a repetitive mistake here, and it takes the shape of you doing things like too much, applying too much energy, too much thought, controlling this specific thing too much. And it's not that you're a controlling person. I don't think that that's like a personality issue. Sometimes it's just one very specific thing that we are used to doing in a particular way, and it's not the ideal way. And sometimes if we just take a step back and try to just observe or see how others are doing, what they're doing, say the example of others, or just, not interfering and letting the thing do what it needs to do, letting the energy flow without your interference. It doesn't mean like that you disappear. It doesn't mean that you go into darkness. It just means that you're just witnessing something happening. And I feel like there's great power there of just standing there and witnessing without interfering. Just, satisfied and content with what you already have, instead of trying to do more, let's say. It's not greediness. It's more like overdoing something. Because sometimes when you're making something, letting it rest is also part of it growing. It's like you're baking, or you are cooking. Sometimes things, they need to rest, right? And it doesn't mean that you aren't doing them. It doesn't mean that you're not creating them. It doesn't mean that you're not engaging in the process. It just means that the way you engage is through observation and being, okay, now this part of the cooking, process is just me enjoying a glass of wine or a cup of tea. It's also part of the sensuality that I'm sensing here, the enjoyment of the process, not only of you doing what you want to do and pursuing what you want to do, but also knowing that even in those restful moments, you are still in control of the process. You are still aware of the process. It's a part of the work. Part of the work is also like organizing your schedule so that you stop. You also stop. You're not constantly interfering. Let's say you're not constantly working on something because it seems like it's ruining something. And there's also something here about changing, like, your mind patterns, changing your thoughts. So this process of creation requires detachment. It requires you to trust the protection of other powers. It requires the intervention of other powers. So refraining from the need to overdo something is also a way of establishing your sense of power, your sense of it's also that the power of your dream, the power of what you want to achieve, does not disappear just because you're not constantly working on a specific thing that you think is the only thing that's connected to that. There might be other forces at work here. There are certainly forces that are not exactly easy, and they might have this darkness attached to them, maybe even like addiction. But in those moments, the sitting back and observing, I feel it's the greatest gift. It's the greatest offering that you can give. It's the greatest dedication and devotion that you can express for your dream to come true. It is a way to work on things. It is a way to work on yourself. Oh, okay, so maybe that's what happens. So when you're not working on the thing, you're working on yourself. And that's why this is happening, because you need to work on yourself for things to move along, and for this dark energy and dark habit or addiction not to interfere with your creative process and with what you want to structure. I feel like this can be career related. This can also be like a family project or something that's really integrated into your life, maybe both, like family business even. So letting things grow is also part of the job, let's say. And just thinking about things even. So just like being like sitting down and visualizing things happening is also creating. It's also a part of the joy of creation. Okay, thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to the newsletter so we can keep in touch. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.